see it through. See your pain through. See your struggle through. See your whatever darkness that you have, see it through. Because within every single hard time you have in life, there is that silver lining. There is that little sliver, a part of you that wonders what is next, what happens after, what happens. It's literally your story, your chapter, your book, writing itself. So do not quit upon yourself before it even finishes. Because what if you stopped and allowed yourself that what if moment of, what if I didn't finish this? What if I didn't even do this? What if I... No. Do not allow yourself to have uncertainty in the things that you can literally control and the things that you can set for certain for yourself in a world full of unknown. Because you can set yourself up for success. Hear me out. Hear me out. Every single time you doubt yourself, every single time that you think, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm not smart enough, oh, I can't do this, you can. You did, and you have. You just have to see it through. Because when you do not allow the fullest things to come true, you deny yourself your fullest potential. You deny every single thing that was meant for you because you didn't want to see it through. I say this coming from the perspective of receiving my finals. Literally my grades of this semester. In my 2 hardest classes, I finished with an A. And you guys know how much I struggled this semester. From balancing my classes to balancing swim to literally balancing just literally being me. Because the thing is, at the beginning of the semester, I literally thought about switching majors. I literally thought about switching into philosophy and ethics. Because that was something that I had a deeper interest in and something that I didn't not like. But as that semester progressed, as I went through my semester, I literally did the work for myself. I did the work for myself to actually get an A. I worked hard enough to be able to get the success that I desired. Because today, when I went in for my meeting, for my last final meeting with my professor, she was like, yes, I agree with you. You deserve an A. Because I made my portfolio and I had evidence to support that I have an A level of mastery of understanding the material. Literally the only thing that helped me with this was my ability to get it together, get my stuff together, put me together into one, and to shoot for my goals higher than I could ever expect and to try to shoot for it. Because I know my worth and it is not tied to my grades. I know my worth and it is not tied to my times of swimming. I know my worth because it is not defined by any single thing that I do, but rather than myself and the things that I want to do. Because I am so beyond blessed and grateful to get this A in this class. But I knew deep down that I am not my grade. I knew deep down whether I got an A- or B, or whatever, in either of those classes, biochem or analytical chem, that I am more than my success in academics. Because the truth is, you shouldn't define yourself by that. Because just because you are super duper high does not mean the next day you're not going to be super duper low. And so when you have to stay humble, when you have to be grounded, when you have to be rooted within yourself and your trueness and your wholeness and your values, you have to do that. And I think many times that we end up forgetting about that. That we forget our true beauty and we just see these struggles in our head and we just see these things that are going wrong left and right, and that we become depressed, we become anxious, we become all these things because we lose ourselves. Because we don't have anything that we're pursuing that actually motivates us, that makes us want to get out of bed. And I think when we get in that headspace and then we say and we think and we see this hardship, we want to leave it, we want to get out of it because it's uncomfortable and we're not designed to be in discomfort. But that doesn't mean we weren't able to handle it, that we aren't able to handle it. are more than capable of handling this hardship. And I think when you see it out, when you let time pass and give yourself the opportunity to shine, you can do it. You can let yourself shine. And the only thing that is stopping you from point A to point Z is that you stop, that you do not let yourself finish, and that you do not let yourself become the fullest version that you possibly can become. And I think the struggle is when our external struggle becomes our internal struggle, and that we become disheartened when we want to give up, when we want to say no, when we want to say stop, when we want to halt every single struggle in our life. That's the way it is. You and I do not like discomfort. You and I do not like change. We don't like uncertainty. We don't like this. We don't like that, because it's not what we want. But the thing is, you and I can get through these hard times. You and I are made to get through these times. We are meant to be resilient. We are meant to be disciplined. We aren't meant to be motivated. I lose motivation all the time, but I rely on my discipline and my grit. You lose motivation and you always turn to yourself, towards your wholeness, towards your values, your core, your strength, your being, your person, you and I have to fall back on that. We have to trust in our abilities that we can do this and we will do this, because why not? Why not you? Why can't you get through this hard time to see it through? Just let yourself feel that sadness, be that depressed, use those emotions to fuel something else beautiful. I think one of the deepest things that one of my friends said, she is like dealing with a lot of things, and she was just telling me about her experience, and she said that she doesn't use like prescriptions, whatever. She doesn't use those to help her feel better, but she uses them as something to help her give that crutch, to allow herself to be able to do those things that help her feel better. Like she was just saying, like, she uses medications as a way to be able to have the energy to then choose to do something else, and to choose to do something for herself to actually help her feel better in the long term. And I think when, it doesn't even have to be medication, it doesn't have to be like anything like that, but I use that as an example of you finding the energy, you finding that one thing in your life to be able to use your mental capabilities and physical abilities to do something for yourself that you can get through it. Even if it's you getting up, putting on your clothes, going to work, going for a 5-minute walk after work, that is you getting through it. That is you seeing it through. That is you literally doing it for yourself. And so I want to leave you with this. Do not forget the picture of life. That there are times in life that we are struggling, and that we struggle, and that we faceplant, and that we fall, but then we get back up to do that same cycle again. But there will be times that you have peace in your life. There will be times that when you have love in your life, when you have these friends and all these beautiful things in your life that are meant to be with you. Because life comes in seasons. Life is never meant to be X, Y, and Z for so long. And when it does, and when it feels like that, then that season is so long. And it's meant to teach you for something and some reason and some why. So don't overlook this season of your life. And give yourself enough time to see it through. It's like when you see the fall, when you see the trees turn colors from green to red, there's not an instant change of green to red. You have that slow progression to see that beauty. And on the outside, you see this vibrant change. But on the inside, the leaf is dying. And so I think when you have to give yourself that time to honestly go through that hardship, to then turn into that beautiful red color that you and I would never even expect and predict to have out, that would come about. So give yourself time to see it through. Food for thought.